Hey, what's up guys? Tougie here, I'm back again. A very quick video here, but I did want to give kind of another update as to what is currently going on with the NHL. And of course, I haven't been at the point where I've done a breakdown for every single series and how it's gone on, but I did want to take the opportunity to quickly talk about the second round now that it has concluded. Again, I've made videos talking about, of course, the play-in rounds, the first round and everything. So getting down to this, Vegas and Vancouver. Now, I said I thought Vancouver would win this. If I'm not mistaken, I think I took Vancouver and that they'd be able to carry the momentum that they had from beating the St. Louis Blues. They made it incredibly close. A phenomenal breakout performance from Thatcher Demko that likely just ended the Markstrom era in Vancouver. But while at the beginning of the season and really at the beginning of the play-in round, we wouldn't have said that we thought the Canucks would be good enough to make it all the way to the conference final, I still can't help but view it as a wasted opportunity for the Canucks because they had a shot. They had a legitimate shot at beating Vegas in Game 7. Scoreless heading into the third. You know, that's the type of moment where you'd like to think Brock Besser, Pettersson, JT Miller, Toffoli, like any of your big names up front could get the job done, and they simply couldn't. And obviously, too, like they weren't getting a ton of offense, they weren't getting a ton of shots, but you'd think that that explosiveness on offense to just make something happen out of nowhere could present itself, and it never did. So, yeah, for the Canucks, all in all, good season? Yeah, you took that big step forward. You made it to the second round of the playoffs. That's crazy, but damn, you realistically could have been in the conference final. Even if you didn't deserve to beat Vegas, even if Vegas was the better team doesn't always win. So at the end of the day, steps forward for the Canucks. But yeah, things are going to be very interesting here for Vancouver in the near future. Bring it over to the greatest site on the internet, known as Cap Friendly. And of course, the biggest thing I would have to say for Vancouver at this stage, right, is, this upcoming draft. You don't have your first. You don't have your second. Toffoli's deal is up. Vertanen and Mott are a bit lesser. But, Stetcher, Tanev, obviously the Markstrom deal, which you're probably not going to take at this point. They have some interesting decisions that they need to work out at this stage. It's not quite dire. At the end of the day, you still have Pettersson under contract for that extra year. But, and of course, the Quinn Hughes deal is up after next season as well, and that's when things get interesting. Thank God for you guys. Pearson, Sutter, they'll be off the books at that point. Roussel and Beagle. Not quite soon enough, but all things considered, again, for the Canucks, a pretty good accomplishment to make it where they were, but man, Demko nearly stole you a spot in the conference final. All you needed was one goal, and you could have had it. So I'd be a bit disappointed if I was a Canucks fan. Happy, but disappointed. And I feel like it's fair to yourself as a fan and to the team to be happy with what they accomplished, but disappointed with what they left on the table. And we'll talk more about that with a certain team in a couple of seconds. For the Vegas Golden Knights, though, I mean, damn, it really shouldn't have been that close with Vancouver. Everyone kind of pegs Vegas as like the top team in the West, the most complete team. You struggle at that point, and obviously, as you can see, I'm talking about this a little bit late because we've already seen Game 1 where Dallas shut them out 1-0. Speaking of Dallas, making it past Colorado. At the end of the day, I mean, very tough series, but the thing about Colorado is they fell apart. I mean, they're cap friendly, I'm sure, will show it. If not, the daily face-off absolutely should. But they fell apart. Yeah, Colin Wilson is showing up as the only one down there. But their team absolutely fell apart. And it still took Dallas 7 games to do it. Comeback effort, of course, but, just to get it to Game 7. But, yeah, all things for Colorado. Very disappointing season. But, I mean, you lost your first 2 goaltenders. You lost some crucial members of that team. It's just one of those things that happens. You can be very happy with what they accomplished. Disappointed with what they left on the table. But at the end of the day, the biggest downside is that, Nathan MacKinnon can't do it by himself. And they lost a lot of strong key players to that team due to injury. So expect Colorado to be back, but it seems like that happens every once in a while, if not every year to multiple teams, but players fall apart and you just can't make it over the line at that point. Dallas, I mean, obviously, I talked about it on Twitter a lot, but Kiviranta getting the hat trick in Game 7, including the winner. I mean, if you remember old school Tougie 24 franchise mode, I think it was the Bruins NHL 17 series. Joel Kiviranta, totally Spanish. A channel legend here, so almost tempted to get his jersey at this stage, but that's just hilarious. And I absolutely love it. And Dallas is a goddamn wagon, man. I mean, they're not without interesting faults where Ben Bishop is very shaky and Hadobin's the guy there. And, you know, secondary scoring stepping up for them. All of a sudden, like Perry and Pavelski don't look like a complete waste. This could very well be Dallas's year. And then you look at game one, and again, you look at these two teams, and on paper, yeah, Vegas should win this. Vegas should win this, I would say. But there has been something about Dallas throughout this run, and it's normally those teams where you say there is something about them that makes you think this could be their year. And when you look at Colorado, there's something about Colorado, the wheels fell off. You know, Vegas, there's not something about them. They're a great team, but there's something about Dallas where I mentioned this in previous videos. They kind of hit that point with me where they were like Nashville, where it's like, okay, just, you know, the old expression, shit or get off the pot. Like, are you going to make a playoff run here, or are you just going to blow it every single year? Here they are in the conference final, 3 wins away from making it to the Stanley Cup final. And initially, if you were to have asked me before last night's game, who would I pick? I'd have to go with the favorite in Vegas, because outside of some controversy with Marc-Andre Fleury and Alan Walsh, and aside from Ryan Reeves getting himself suspended, you know, there's really no reason to doubt Vegas. But again, Dallas has that X factor where things are just going their way right now. And it can often be, and we talked about this before, especially a lot last year, teams have a habit of winning lately when you don't expect them to win. You think back last year, St. Louis, you have no reason being as bad as you were. No reason at all. Dead last in January, but you found, you made it into the playoffs, and then it's like, okay, well, they're not going to win. Like, look at how bad they were earlier. They underperformed all year, but then all of a sudden it's like, well, there's something about them and that surge, and then they won. You look at the year before that with Washington. How many times did Washington blow it? And then finally they make it. The year they weren't supposed to win. Like, this is just a thing that happens. Aside from, like, Pittsburgh, of course, and Chicago and their dominance. But you get the point. I have to go Dallas. And, I mean, I could see... The thing about this series is you could see it ending in 4, 5, or 6. Maybe even 7. Like, I could literally see it ending in any single possibility. I'm going to say Dallas wins this one. There's just something about them right now where I'm going to go with the hot hand and say the Dallas Stars are going to the Stanley Cup Final for the first time in over 20 years. Eastern Conference side of things... You know, really both teams that lost in the East have that X factor where it's like there's something about them. And then also, or we thought there was something about them like Dallas, and then you can also be happy with what they accomplished, but you can be disappointed with what they left off the table or left on the table, like Vancouver. So it's very interesting how that works out that way. For the Philadelphia Flyers, you can be very happy with what they accomplished, but you have to be disappointed with what they left off, what they left on the table, because at certain points this season, especially before the break, it's like, oh my God, they're going to do this. Like, they are the hottest team in the league. You get to the round robin, they're great. First round, they struggle a little bit with Montreal, but they get the job done. Carter Hart outduels Carey Price. And then you get to the Islanders series. It goes 7, but they were playing from behind basically the whole series. Like, the wheels just fell off for Philly. Unlike with Dallas, who kept going, but the wheels just fell off for Philadelphia. So, again, you can be happy with what they accomplished, given some circumstances. Someone like Nolan Patrick never played this season, which sucks, and I really hope his career gets back on track. You look at everything that happened with Oscar Lindblom. The continued emergence of Carter Hart. A lot of good things happened this season for Philadelphia. But there is going to be that feeling of, shit, this could have been so much more for you. New York Islanders, on the other hand, I mean, hot damn. They handle the Capitals, get Todd Reirden fired, so Caps fans are thankful for that. And then again, there's been something about the Islanders all season long. That Barry Trotz system, and Barry Trotz deserves so much damn credit, but so does the rest of the coaching staff there, because again, you look at what they did with Robin Leonard, you look at what they're doing with Varlamov now, and how good Greiss has been. You can call it boring hockey if you want, but that defensively responsible physical style, taking advantage offensively when you can, Josh Bailey and Matt Barzal have been amazing, but you have guys like Komarov and Matt Martin putting up points too. There is something about that Islanders team. There is an X factor with that Islanders team. And then you look at the other series, Tampa and Boston. Same thing. President's Trophy winning Bruins. But then you get to the bubble, and, Andre Kasha and David Pastrnak didn't show up in shape. Who knows what else might have gone down. You have the alleged controversy of what happens with Tuukka Rask leaving the bubble to be with his family. I guess the word was that his daughter was in the hospital, so he said, fuck it, I'm out of here. And yeah, that's what you do. I would be questioning Tuukka Rask if he didn't do that. Who gives a damn about hockey? You tell me that I have a family member that's sick, let alone a child? I'm out of here. This is just a game. Screw it. And of course, I've already made a video about that. Anybody that's like, oh, Tuukka quit on the team. Screw you. Screw you. Oh, your opinion matters first. Yeah, you can say your opinion if you want. You can think your opinion matters. If your opinion is that Tuukka Rask quit on his team, you're an idiot. Please feel free to unsubscribe from this channel. I don't want you here. Point being, that wasn't the only thing that went wrong for the Bruins. That's not the reason as to why they lost, because Rask and Halak were playing about to similar levels through the bubble and everything. Bottom line is just the magic that the Bruins had, much like the Flyers, it just kind of tailed off. It just kind of tailed off. Not necessarily due to injury. It just kind of tailed off. And it sucks. It sucks. But you could tell the team was just not the same team it was in March. And then obviously, you have the issues of like, okay, Andre Kasha wasn't a perfect fit for the team. Nick Ritchie was definitely not a fit for the team. And now the Bruins are coming up on a fairly tumultuous offseason where we don't know what's going to happen with Zdeno Chara. Torrey Krug is pretty much gone. I've accepted the fact that Torrey Krug is no longer going to be a Boston Bruin. The good thing is the Bruins do have guys that don't quite do what they do, but a lot of people, if you don't watch the Bruins, you don't know, names like Matt Grzelcyk. You might know a name like Matt Grzelcyk, but you don't know, what he really provides. You're probably not familiar with the likes of Lozon and Connor Clifton. Like, the Bruins have some options within their system already to at least deal with the fact that they're going to lose Torrey Krug. But make no mistake, they're still going to be in a competitive standpoint. Bergeron, Marchand, Krejci, as long as they're around, you're going for it. And again, the defense isn't that bad without them. So I expect the Bruins to bounce back yet again. Again, they were my preseason pick to win the Cup. They were my pick at the beginning of this to win the Cup. The Magic just fell apart, and they were not the same team. So they beat Carolina, which, I don't even think they necessarily looked that good when they beat Carolina. I think Carolina looked a little bit worse than we thought they would. And I'll be very intrigued to see what the Hurricanes did this offseason in terms of maybe finding a more consistent goaltender. But, yeah, all things considered for the Bruins, just wasn't there. And for Tampa, the Tampa Bay Lightning are the Bruins' boogeyman. The Tampa Bay Lightning just have the Bruins' number. Sometimes that's the way it goes. Sometimes that's the way it goes, man. So it is what it is. Tampa, not quite to Boston what Boston is to Toronto, but it's pretty close. And obviously the Lightning are 6, so that brings us to the Final Four. And again, on that Western Conference side, I think Dallas is going to make it. And in that Eastern Conference side, I'm siding with the Islanders. There is something about them. I think we're getting a Dallas-New York Islanders Stanley Cup Final. Because with the Tampa Bay Lightning, I said at the beginning of this that I could see them winning the whole thing if they were healthy. And I mistakenly thought that Stamkos was healthy, and he's not, and it's confirmed he's not playing in this series. Kucherov is a little bit shaky. I mean, Victor Hedman appears to be healthy. So, maybe it's a mistake. I mean, Tampa's only lost 2 games to this point. So, I mean, if you were to tell me right now, who do I think is more likely to win between Vegas and Tampa, I would side with Tampa. I think I'm siding with the Islanders as what I want to see. But then, there's just something about it with Tampa, though, because they've won without Stamkos in terms of, being in these playoffs. These are the Final Four here. I mean, legitimately, the argument's there. Yeah, they could win the Cup. I think what I'd want to see is Dallas and the Islanders. What I think we're going to see is Dallas and Tampa. Even though I don't mind Vegas. I know it's like the popular thing to hate on Vegas. Put it this way, I'm not going to hate on any fan base that wins the Cup here. I'm not going to be disappointed at all. Not at all. All 4 of these teams are fantastic. So, I mean, if I had to bet I think I'd probably go Dallas and Tampa, actually. Like I said, there's something about the Islanders. Maybe Dallas and Islanders. That's so tough to pick. I'm going Dallas and the Islanders. Why not? We're going silly. With Tampa, I just wonder if it's going to be able to hold up. And what I mean by that is it's like, okay, you know, you look at that defense and it's like Zach Bogosian, and it's like, is that going to continue to work out? No Steven Stamkos. Kucherov might be hurt. I don't know. I think for Tampa, that might be a bit of Colorado syndrome at this point. But anyway, I'm done rambling and ranting about this. I'm gonna go with Dallas and the Islanders, which means it'll be Vegas and Tampa. So congratulations to those fan bases. Let me know what you thought for the 200 people that might watch this. But hey, I love the hell out of you guys, and I appreciate you for that. Again, sorry for the lack of kind of pizzazz to this video, but it was very short term, so very off the cuff. I'll see you guys later. And yeah, damn, it's September and we're in the conference finals.